We are at war, and many people never saw this coming. And the war is for the most precious resource in the universe. And all of the pillars of your existence for your everyday life were under attack. There was no running from this. There was no hiding from this. This war was for everything. The systems that you worked for were corrupted. And you might have went to the workplace and you put in your time and you sacrificed everything for this job. This represents your purpose in life. And many people, after serving their time, they were discarded. And they lost many opportunities, and they put all their energy for work that didn't serve their purpose, actually drained them. The food and the water that you consume is designed to actually make you worse, not better. We're supposed to live in a world where the water is healing for us. We're supposed to live in a world where the food is thy medicine, right? Food is supposed to heal you. And this inversion, you are what you eat, your health is one of the pillars of existence. You're going to maintain being alive. Your health has to be your top priority of the pillars. And what have you been consuming? What have we all been fed? What's the water that's been flowing to our houses? You know, in recent times, you know, I started to look into this because the bills have been going high. You know, we live in a world that you can't even get free water to your home. You got to pay for it, and all the bills went up. And years ago, you actually didn't have to pay a water bill. Isn't that strange? To your home, your property. You never stop paying for it, bro. The property. You want to get to a place in life where you work hard and then you finally can rest, and you built a foundation, but you never stop paying. There's something always in the background running, and it's designed to drain you. We live in a world where women and men, they're not about love. Relationships in this world are designed to destroy you. You have women in this world that are destroyers. Going through this time period, you might have had to be a man, had to go it alone. There's women in this world that aren't there for love, that inspire you to build. It is actually the inversion. These women, they're there as parasites or destroyers. The divine feminine women that are out there, there's men that are sent to you as distractions to lead you astray. We live in a world where the war is from within, where men that have built for years, you go out into the world and you meet a girl, and that wasn't a girl, bro. It was a parasite. And you worked your entire life so that you could have half your pension taken away. You have the home that you built and you're constantly paying taxes on forever. You had that taken away. That's the inversion of life. It's actually evil. Well, what is evil? It's to live in reverse. You might be the divine feminine and you have a distraction, not a man, that you never felt safe. Your nervous system was never at rest. You never had an opportunity. You never had the opportunity for your beautiful creation, your beauty that you could bring to the world. It was never on display. Where we have people that are not in alignment, when you have jobs not in alignment, when you have food and water not in alignment, and where you have your suitable place to live. Years ago, I used to teach middle school science, and I taught all the children for years. All organisms need food, water, and a suitable place to live. And I went into this concept, a suitable place to live. It's not just a place to live. It has to be a suitable place to live so that your nervous system is calm. But when you look in the world and you see the way that the structure for you to maybe own your home, when you think about how organisms of the same species, when you have the female destroying the male of the same species, when you have the male disrespecting the female of the same species, that species is done. When you, the person, as the individual, you go out into the world and your body is the collection of cells, and it consists of the food that you eat, and the cells are hydrated with the water that you drink. And when the food is rigged against you and the water is rigged against you, when the systems that you worked for and the systems that were supposedly supposed to support our children are rigged against our children become adults. I teach about the subconscious mind and subconscious programs, and children download programs from birth to the age of 7 or 8. And those children then become adults. And as adults, these children have traumas from this backwards society. I could even remember in the cafeterias, and a lot of my fellow teachers, we couldn't even go in there. We couldn't smell the food. If you've detoxed from all these things, and you say, they're feeding our children these things. This is what our children are eating. These are the systems that are supposed to support our children. And the systems that were supposed to support our elderly. What's going on in this world? Well, we are at war. And everyone had to make a decision over the past few years. We all had to make a decision. We could go with God or we could go with the Matrix. And each and every one of us made a decision. And if you made the decision to go with God, you had to come up against a lot of tribulations. Heck, maybe 7 years of tribulation to get to this moment where we are now. The war was for the most precious resource in the universe. This was the war for your soul. And each and every one of us had to make a decision. And sometimes we didn't have to make the easiest decision. Sometimes in our life, we had to make decisions to leave systems behind and jobs. It wasn't about the money. It was about your soul. Sometimes we had to change the way that we eat and beliefs that we had our whole life. I'm going to eat this food. I'm going to eat this way. Eat a heavy breakfast every day, right? All the inverted programs. You had to leave these things behind. You might have had to leave your hometown. You lived in your hometown your whole life. And then one day you woke up and what was familiar and comfortable was no longer familiar and comfortable anymore. You had to leave your hometown. And the corruption when it comes to relationships. You had to go it alone. You had to have self-respect. And you had to not fall for the traps. In the world, when you go out there, You don't just get in a relationship just to be in a relationship. It's one of the most important parts of life. It's actually one of the 4 pillars. A lot of people that are not spiritually strong, they have to have someone else to validate them. They struggle during this time. If you are ingrained, neuroplasticity, when you go to different surroundings, you build new neural pathways in the brain. It's very difficult to leave your hometown. You might have been taught to eat a certain way and didn't realize the importance of water and the systems were all rigged against you. But people, they all made a decision. People made a decision to go with the system. People made a decision to go with the ego, with fear. There's people that they have everything for their family locked up, all their investments into something they don't even understand. Everything outside. But during this war for your soul, you had to go on the inside. Ascension is an inside job. And when you ascend, you change your frequency and you shift your reality. And all the things in the outer world, they start crumbling down. Over the past few years, we all kind of went through tough times, but tough times don't last. Tough people do. And we had to do this because humanity is on life support. And it's on life support because weak men create tough times. And look at the tough times that we're in. We're in the middle of the war for your soul. So what we needed were real men and real women to rise. And during this process, people were left behind. It is very difficult to leave the subconscious programs that are ingrained in the brain. You were taught to have a program, to have a certain job and live a certain way if you're a man. The woman that was supposed to be the backbone of the family. They're programmed by media and social media to become the worthless modern woman, a parasite. So any person that's able to hear this message, you had to go through a massive shift, and you're going to have to go through it alone. You don't go through it alone because you have God. But no one could save you. You had to become the superhero. This was an extinction event for humanity. And I've been saying it for a long time. And this extinction event is not going to come from the bomb. It's not going to come from the giant comet crashing into the earth. And it's not going to come from the supermassive volcano exploding. No. The extinction of humanity will come from that demented brain. Wake up. Wake up. What are the distractions that are leading you astray? These were tough times, and you had to navigate these tough times alone. But you made it here, and if you made it to the end of this message, you won the war for your soul. I'm going to ask you a question before I end this. Who will you be when the lights go out? Who will you be when you close your eyes? And that is the answer. And so it is. I love you all. What I discussed tonight are the 4 pillars. And if you want to improve your everyday life, if you have disconnected from the matrix, the rational world, and you're ready to be the creator and walk the walk, switch your mode. Because so many people in this world only operate out of NPC consciousness, non-playable characters. But you are the creator of your everyday life. And from this shift, from all the pain, everything that we've been through, now something new is born. So I appreciate each and every one of you. If this message inspires you, why don't you click the like button and click the subscribe button. Daily videos, 9 a.m. Eastern time, to help you become the greatest version of yourself. Let's get back into balance. Let's get back into alignment. And let's become the most powerful version of ourselves, our higher self. And then we ascend to a higher plane of existence. Leave a comment down below. Any of the things that I discussed in tonight's episode, have you experienced any of these things over the past few years? Have you become awake and aware to these things that might stop you and put you in fear? So when you move forward, we got to rise up. We got to rise up out of fear, guilt, and shame. And we have to get to love and authenticity, the truth, the Most High. And that's how you're going to walk the earth. You won the war for your soul, kid. This has been going on for quite some time. I love each and every one of you. It's time to celebrate. I am the defender of our everyday lives. No matter what comes your way, light warriors, just keep going.